So I just spoke a whole sort of sermon, that I thought could be useful, but I forgot to actually press record. So I'll just say one quick message that I've learned from all my years of meditation. One sort of lesson that you can actually get from me. Well, it is a little bit serious, but it's also weird to the internet, right? But what I wanted to say is that the difference between someone who is, let's say, achieved spiritually, so he can go into samadhi. That's um, basically the real attainment, sort of, in Eastern philosophy, to be able to go into samadhi. But it basically really ends there. Like, yes, you can try to carry over that peace and that state of love into the world. Yes, yes, yes. But I would say that if you have had not had that samadhi, let's say, like deep meditation, um, yes, you're kind of missing out on knowing that there's a lot of peace within you and a more pleasant state, basically, than the world usually, unless life is good, but which is also why it's a bit addicting, meditation. But it's not bad. It's certainly not bad. It's best if you had to choose between being a drug addict, a TV addict, or a meditation addict, you'd definitely be better off, best off with being a meditation addict. Not gonna lie, but I would say that the difference between someone who can experience spiritual states, and honestly, spiritual states and the whole dream shamanic world, that's just dream stuff. That's not even what deep meditation is about at all. In the East, they see usually that as a distraction, something that you probably shouldn't focus on. It's just useless. Anyways, um, but the difference between someone who can get like deep meditative states and a person, this is hard to word, but a person who sins or doesn't sin, the difference is greater between a person who lives a moral life compared to living a immoral life. And the person, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is that one teacher said he'd rather have 100 mature people than one awakened person. And when I was a meditation addict, that would really bother me because I was hoping that there would be a sort of infinitely easy, enlightened state. And in my experience, that's not really true. Um, yeah, it's just meditation is a wonderful gift that was given to me, let's say. And after that, you go into it sometimes, and after that, you have to live. But this world is also pretty corrupt or difficult sometimes, so you have some sort of ups and downs. But still, the message, I guess, that I wanted to say, so he said he'd rather have 100 mature people than one awakened person, so-called awakened person, because it's really not that difficult to be spiritually awakened. Like, there's different sort of there are different depths to it, but fundamentally it doesn't really, it matters, but it doesn't have to matter if you have a good life. But he said he'd rather have 100, and it's hard to talk. Everything you say about this issue is going to be sort of cryptic, right? It's up to, well, no, it's also literal. But he said he'd rather have 100 awake persons, 100 awake people, than, no, 100 mature people than one awake person. What he means by this is it's better if you're just not an idiot. And I would translate that as being a sinner. You know, just stealing or lying or just sins, basically. I think you have three basic sins, which are stealing, lying, and not harming others intentionally, other human beings for no good reason. If you want to kill an animal for food, that's a different story. But Should try to treat those well as well, of course, but humans, yeah, you shouldn't hurt that at all if you can, because they're divine. They're your kind. So he said it like that, and I agree. But even the whole awake or not awake doesn't make a lot of sense, because let's put it this way: these spiritual states, they do have some bearing on reality. But honestly, the real bearing that they have is that you are smart enough not to fall into sin. So I guess what I wanted to say is that the original Christian flavor had it right. It's about simply not sinning, and there's nice references to that. Someone who has seen him won't sin again. And that exists on a spectrum. I would agree with that, but if you tell, let's say, a lie to try to do something good or something like that, that's like a small sin, right? Maybe you should have been more honest or more skilled with your words or something like that, but that we all know that. The good news is that these sins and these states of sin and sex and violence and all these things are very, very temporary. There are, of course, extreme cases in life that are just that we can hear about and be grilled about, but it is always temporary. And this is also the message that I had to Christians sometimes, is that no, hell is temporary. There are different interpretations of what these words mean of sin, and it's like it's sin is gonna lead you to death and stuff like that. And there are certain translations that speak about an eternal punishment in some form. But if you think about it enough, you have to stay with the core message, which is a message of forgiveness, of love, of transcending the world in a way. And that's you shouldn't take that too literally, but the fact that you are not just the sensations, there's also the peace in life, the space. So these are good things. Kind of losing a little bit train of thought here, but yeah. So the eternal punishment. Well, there is no eternal punishment. The point is to bring you back to love. But it's also hijacked by media that love is about lust, and it plays in on your weakness there. But hell is not eternal. Why is hell not eternal? Because something that is eternal can't begin. Something that is eternal is eternal. It is always the case. It is actually more referencing to the peace of life, and which is also love. Some people may have more peace, some people may have more love. I maybe have more peace so much than being a joyful, loving, lovey person or something like that. You know what I mean? But what did I want to say? Yeah, so so another Orthodox speaker said it also very good. Said if this love or this peace is given to someone, or wants to be given to someone, but we keep sinning, that's like hell. So basically, yeah, in a way, many people create their own hell by keeping their sins. That's just a very basic fact, and you probably shouldn't try to be with people who are still liars and all that. Well, anyways, but yeah, something that is eternal, that has no beginning and end, that you can't just die at some point and then have an eternal pain, because first of all, that would have to be already present. So it's really a confused point of view that isn't really rooted deeply enough in peace to see that is temporary. So basically, that's the truth of that matter, at least. Hell is not... I keep coming back to that on my videos. I guess it's the thing, my message that I want to share when it comes to saying something useful. They're pretty deep states though that can look eternal, but they always end. And yeah, they're more characterized by peace, so it's even hard to really conjure it up in your mind, actually, because it is about peace. So, can you imagine peace? No. Can you imagine the light, maybe that is beyond this world, or something like that, or there's the soul? No, you can't really imagine that. You have to enjoy it or experience it in prayer and such. Yeah. To some degree and whatnot, but yeah, this is the message, guess, of hope for a lot of people if they've not seen that very clearly. And after that, life can still be difficult when you get out of meditation and get out of live in the world, but it's not good to complain, so I'll end it here. I hope that helps, and God bless you.